Hello, this is Cosmic Conversation with me, Tina.
And me, Marie.
If you haven't been with us before, welcome. And if you have been with us before, welcome back.
Yeah, guys, remember last week we did regression past. Well, I'm getting like you now, past life regression,
We
wasn't it?
actually did a,
Live on tape.
yes, hypnotic session.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard that already, guys, go back and listen to that one. And then this is a follow-up, basically. So here on Cosmic Conversation, we want you to be involved. So wherever you're listening to this, always drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. And our location this week is back in the lovely location of my village. So yeah, I want to talk about last week because that was something that was completely new to me. I didn't think that you would be able to regress me, to be honest with you.
I was surprised myself, actually, because being a mate, it was weird to watch you, and I wish we could have videoed it, really, to see
Done a visual,
to
yeah.
watch you, for you to look at your facial expressions, and it really was.
What did what were my facial expressions for different moments then?
Yeah, you was crying a lot. You was crying a lot from beginning to end, pretty much, even the nice bits. Oh. And I said, go to your birthday, and you were like, oh, I didn't get a guitar.
Oh, right. I do remember some of it. But what came out of it was that, and it has bugged me since last week, to be honest with you, that I went to a past life where I was a young man. I had a ponytail. I had a white shirt. But this boat I cannot get out of my head, which wasn't a ship. But I think I said it was a ship, but it was big enough. It wasn't a dinghy.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was carrying...
I think it was a commercial boat, what you were explaining, but not a ginormous industrial.
Because there wasn't a lot
thing.
of people on the boat. I don't remember a lot of people on the boat, but there was dogs, and they went over the side, and from what I can recall, I went to save them because the boat went into rocks. Okay. And you asked, at that time, you said afterwards, oh, I never asked you what your name was.
Yeah, I wish I had, but we can go back another time.
Yeah, could talk about that.
But on a psychic note, if you want to call it that, the word like Paulo or Paulo, Paulo, was coming into my head. And then you said afterwards about, or Paulo.
Porto.
And you was picking up Porto something.
Portuguese, I was trying to get. Sorry, not trying to get, but that's what it was reminding me of.
And the vibes I were getting were sort of Portuguese or like Gibraltar with the rocks and stuff. That area, the Mediterranean sort of.
And I don't think it was like bad, but I think from what I was feeling after, it was smuggly.
Yeah, so you were doing naughty stuff.
Yeah, you weren't a massive... Yeah.
But not like...
Not naughty as in her.
Pirating. No.
Like, like it reminds me of the feeling...
Contraband, doesn't it?
Yeah, it reminded... Well, funny you should say that, because it reminded me of, like Whiskey Galore, where, they put a few whiskey crates in there, and, or there was tobacco or extra stuff or food or something. That's what it reminded me of, the feeling. I'm not saying that's what it was, but that we can come back to that another time. But while we were going through that, and it'd be interesting to know if anybody else has had a regression, and what happened to them and their story. So please, comment where you can. And let us know, because that'd be very, very interesting to know, because from the regression, or with the regression, you did life between life. Is that correct?
Yeah, because we've already assessed that there is life after death. Yeah. Reincarnation. So we've had many lives before. but the life in between, the Bardo state, it's called, which we just looked up, which is also mentioned in that book that I keep mentioning, Dr. Joel Witten. It's called Life Between Life, and it's case studies.
Oh, yeah.
And it explains that the word Bardo come from Tibet.
And it means between.
In between.
In between,
yeah. Or transition in between.
You touched on that. And as you said, you said to me after, I went through it quickly because I was getting annoyed with you in my state of regression.
Yeah.
Because you were rushing me. I felt you were rushing me. But I know you said I'd never done it before. To me, I'd never done it before. And you could see how upset I was.
Yeah, and I hadn't done it for a long time myself.
So it was a bit of a...
It was just a test run.
It was a tester.
Yeah.
It was like going through the airport.
But you mentioned...
Oh, I love that.
You mentioned colours, didn't you? That's
it. In the Life Between Life, the Bardo state. That was really... my eyes weren't open, but they were... it opened my eyes because I cannot get that image again. I can't see that vision right now at all.
Yeah.
But when I was under your spell...
which you're not.
No, I know. I'm just joking. But while I was going through that, I seen this like pinky red shape, and you said, did we do it on the podcast or say it after? Remember I was saying about on the podcast that I could see dark, not light.
Yeah.
I could see.
But was that coming into like being born?
Yeah.
So you would have, I think that is, when you're coming through that tunnel, they say you go through a dark tunnel and there's light at the end of the tunnel when you die, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't remember the light. Do you get me?
But you wouldn't, going into birth, the dark tunnel would be the tunnel as you're entering when you think of a woman's giving birth.
And
it's a portal, isn't it?
Yeah.
To this dimension. So that tunnel takes you through and then you're being born.
And afterwards I also thought, when I remember the image, like I can't continue that image, but when I remembered it, and I said a pinky red, and listening back, it sort of made me remember that it was like, how can I say, like, the M, the letter M, for mother.
Yeah.
Right? So start each side of that M and come up, and then you go down, so it's an upside down, and then that's where it stopped, and then the black was there. So I don't know if that was legs, if that was body.
Oh, I get you. It could symbolise that.
Like inside.
Yeah.
And it was the shape of my mum's pelvis. I don't know.
Because there's some things in that state that you can't explain. We're not. I suppose there's some things we're not meant to know. Like people have explained stuff, and like I've regressed, and I can't explain colours that I've seen because they don't exist in our spectrum.
Right. Okay.
And obviously there's things that you can't explain. People have, like in that book, people have said that it's like they've had names, but they're not humanly possible to speak them because they don't exist.
Or they existed at another time and we don't use them. Well, what was we going to sort of talk about more? Because I wanted to recap on what we did last week, because I thought it was important just to give you some feedback. And to say, like, the image of being a young man. Yeah. Then the Bardo state.
Yeah.
What was the next bit? Sorry, it's gone.
So then you would be born again. But we was trying to find a date, wasn't we? Sort of a rough idea of the timeline, because I don't think that would have been your direct past life. Sometimes when I say past life, you just go to a significant
moment, like.
past life,
Yeah.
that might reflect on the life that you are now. And you said about your love for boats here now, didn't you?
You know that, don't you, anyway?
Anything's
Yeah.
boaty, so that you've carried that, and obviously animals, dogs.
Oh, I'm terrible by rocks, and I know that is.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah,
jokey.
and there you go,
It sounds
yeah.
very jokey. That does.
But
I
it
can't.
would
I
make
don't like
sense.
walking on them, do I?
Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm gonna fall.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Now, me saying that on the podcast now has made me just go, oh.
Yeah.
For once, I'm stumped.
So we are talking about the life between life.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So thank you very much
So
for
a bit of
recapping on that.
both,
It was a
yeah.
wonderful experience, and we must do it again.
definitely.
Yeah, no, I mean it.
But life between life, the Bardo state, is a lot of people have.
No, it's me. I just keep thinking of a pop group.
Oh,
That's why it went quiet, because I keep thinking of a pop group.
right, yeah, don't
Yeah.
start singing it.
No.
People see judges, and they're not judges as such. They're not like, oh, you're going to do this and you're going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and there is speak of karma, but not karma as in, like we spoke about karma before, that I don't believe that you're forced into doing something in the next life because you did this in the past life, but you are guided and you will learn. You know, so if you commit suicide in a past life, they will not judge you, but your life flashes before your eye, you know, your whole life in speed, and then assessed. I won't say judge, I say assessed. And then
Are they trying
you
to give
still
you tools
choose, yeah,
to live a different, more prosperous life?
you choose
Yeah.
your next life. So basically, yes, you know, like if we're struggling in this life, it's because we've chose to learn
That's
from
what
that.
you believe.
Or a lot of people in past lives, they tend to keep to the same soul family, where you could have married someone in a past life. They may be your brother or sister in this life.
Do you subscribe to the thought that you keep making the same mistakes?
People do.
You don't learn.
Yeah.
Can you
people
accept
do.
that people don't learn?
Yeah.
So what use are those judges or those
Because
you
they,
know, people who help
they're
you?
guiding you, but at the end of the day, some people just want to have fun. But then maybe your, if you want to call it soul, is not progressing, because the ultimate, when people are in that in-between state, the Bardo state, that's home. They call that home. And I've been there, and it is an utter peace. There's no human emotion. There's nothing. There is nothing. And it's just peace, and it's home, and you feel a belonging. And like you said, like you was angry because you wanted to stay there, didn't you?
Yeah, you're making me.
Yeah.
Making me.
And it
rush
makes me think why babies cry when they're born. Probably because at that point they've
never
still
thought of
got
that.
the memories of that past. And there are certain cultures that actually bring joy when someone dies, and they mourn when the baby's born.
Do you know what that is? You're saying that?
Yeah.
No. Do you know
Because
what culture that is?
No.
Do you know?
I can't remember.
I'm only asking right now, or if anybody's listening, tell us.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I read it. But it makes sense, doesn't it?
If they
Because
believe
if that's
that.
home,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're leaving that behind, basically Earth is like a hell, but it's not. But you know, you're stuck here, and you've got to get on with the hardness of life.
Do you know any more about that? In the sense of, if they mourn when you have a baby, that's interesting. Now you said it, because if they mourn a baby, what happens after as they grow? Are they still mourning it's a baby? I'm just asking the question.
No, it will be this. It's like we mourn death. Time, you get over it, don't you?
And there's ways.
Time.
Another
And you're just
podcast,
stuck
another
here.
day.
Yeah.
But that's about like cultural differences, beliefs of how you say goodbye or till the next time.
Yeah.
There's differences, ain't there? You know how people are buried, cremated, where the soul goes, and all, that's a whole heap of a different subject. But I mean, we could go on to. So you're saying that you got to a point, didn't you? Sorry, and I interrupted you about saying about the morning when you're born and all that. So please carry on with the Bardo state.
So the Bardo is home.
Home.
Yeah.
Home to who?
The universe, and as we are all one at the end of the day.
Right. So
although we are...
Animals go there?
That's another story, isn't it? Because when I've read about past lives, nobody ever mentions animals, do they? And I think...
You mean being an animal?
Yeah, I'm sure I have been, but maybe that's where you evolve and progress as a soul, as an individual, back into the sea of souls, in the Bardo.
That's interesting, because
you could choose.
I can't see how somebody, if this is something to believe in, then I can't believe you're not an animal.
I can't believe animals don't have souls, put it that way.
They do, though, don't they? As far as I would think they do.
And why would they be different and separated from human souls? If we're all one in a Bardo state, we all interconnect.
Yeah.
Although we're individual, we still connect through thought. There's no speech. We're still all one.
Well, it's something sparked in me about, there's a certain dog. There's two dogs that I can mention. Actually, they're both boys. One's called Rufus and one's called Wolfie.
Right.
They look to me into your soul. Both of those dogs, maybe there's other dogs, but they seem to try and communicate with you through the eyes.
So maybe they were human before. Maybe you were related to them before. Maybe they are.
Do you know what I mean?
See,
it's that connection.
Again, coming back to the karma thing, like not saying that type of karma where you're forced into stuff, but learning from past lives. Maybe I was cruel to animals or cruel to someone in a past life, and now I'm looking after them because I have a rescue centre.
And if you have the mind that you have here, to me, you have learned.
And and not ask for stuff in return.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because they need rescuing and they need help. So I've learnt my lesson.
And that comes on to the subject of today's podcast, is in association with TRNC.
Animal Rescue Family.
And if you'd like to make a donation, please go to PayPal.
SOSDogs2017@outlook.com.
And help some rescued animals. That'd be great. But I will say, though, it's as if, like, you move your head, you move your consciousness, whatever you're doing away from that animal, and you get the eyes still. It's like as if say, excuse me, you've just, I want to talk to you, or I want to connect with you. I do think that in the past, I know in the past that I used to have a neighbour and she had a cat. I know I'm just homing in on the animal thing because we keep talking about humans. So I have an interest in, I think, what I'm going to say is going to make you laugh. I had a neighbour many years ago when I was a little child, and she had a lot of cats, and she focused in on the one cat, and it was a black and white cat, right? And the cat used to sit on this particular chair, which was her mother's chair. Now, it could be a nice feeling that she wanted to go, oh, she's with our mum sitting there, people could say. Our mum loved her. Right. But the cat used to do certain things. See, I feel silly saying it, but I understand what the lady's saying now I'm older. She'd say the cat used to meow. Oh, you're going to laugh at me.
Go on.
Right. Coronation Street used to come on.
Right.
So you've got that tune, and I'm telling you a true story, is that it's got... No, never reacted to that. Never reacted to the old intro with the cat on the thing. But there used to be a character. Please tell me. Oh God, who was it? She was a feisty lady, and she used to shout a lot.
Ogden?
No, no, not Hilda Ogden. It was going back a bit. She was like a glamorous lady. Whatever this character was, it's Elsie Tanner.
Ah, yes.
Elsie Tanner, right? Well, when she always used to have these confrontations with. So it's got Elsie out. There's a reason why I'm saying it.
Right.
Elsie Tanner and another older character. Right, well, anyway, they used to clash. And when the older character used to say her, like, Elsie Tanner, blah, blah, the cat used to go, "Wow," like this, right? This is the truth. I've seen it, right? And the mum used to sit there going, oh, I don't like this. She was convinced the cat was her mum. But the cat was already there when her mum was there. But you
can get walk-ins.
Now you see, that's why I was asking. And that sounds like a really pathetic story. But I'm sorry, this cat reacted when these characters fought. And her mum was like, oh, I'm going like, basically she said our mum used to go to the toilet when that happened. Like she didn't like it.
Looking into animal souls, that subject is conflicting, interesting.
Because we haven't got their perspective, have we? They can't tell us things. Do you understand? Like, we can only go by what we've been learnt or told.
Yeah.
But an animal can't tell us.
That's what I mean. So when an animal dies, do they go through the Bardo state and what they've done? Oh, that cat's killed that mouse. It's going to be a mouse in his next life.
Exactly.
But it's...
I hope people don't think we're taking the mickey.
No.
This is
but
about a conversation.
It.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's something you're actually looking at me now.
I do question that. Like, is it the same?
Sometimes I am clever, and I can't.
Or is your intelligence is the same in a Bardo state, but then if you go into being an animal, you're incarnated as an animal, then you wouldn't understand the life because you're an animal. You would just have instinct, wouldn't you? But you still have.
You see, and if a human, let's say a human, comes back as an animal, that's accepted. Do you understand what I've just said? But that's accepted. But how do we know an animal hasn't come back as a human? Oh. So
So what, you was a dog in the past? I believe I was a wolf in the past.
Yeah.
Because I've had that feeling when I was a kid. I used to lay in the dog's bed. All I wanted to be was a dog, and I used to act like a dog. I don't know if I said that before in the
we've spoken about it. Yeah.
In the other pod. But I remember being a dog. I remember snuggling up to like the fur of a mother as I was a pup, but a wild dog, so obviously like a wolf or something.
So you sort of answered
Definitely.
it really, if that's what you believe. Yeah, is that like animal? It's like, I think it's interchanging. I think it's interchanging if this is a system of belief.
Yeah.
I think it's interchanging. That I'm not saying it's a toss of. I think it's like a toss of a coin. Sometimes I think even though you choose. Do you mean people say be careful what you wish for?
Yeah.
Right. So you might wish for a Lamborghini. And you get one, and all you ever do is have problems with it, and it costs you more than you bought it for. So be careful what you wish for. Yeah. I wonder if when you're being guided or to come back, and how you want to come back, and you say, I'd like to come back and be understanding of cultures. I want to be more understanding. I didn't really understand before, and I want to be. I would like some sort of status in life to be able to make changes, right? And then you come back as a cow in India. No, you think I'm joking? Isn't it? Sorry, isn't it Hindu?
But you would know
sorry,
what you would know what you were coming back as, or who you were coming back as. You wouldn't just be a surprise.
But how do you know
You would
that?
choose it
How do you know that?
through hypnotherapy, through regression.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't trying to be silly.
Choose.
I was
They
just
would guide
trying
you
to
to say, okay, so this is what you want to get out of the next life. Then we suggest that you be a married man that loses all his family, or you be someone that loses a job, or no one's ever mentioned about going to be an animal in the next life. So I'm not sure if that's
you're aware of.
evolution. Yeah, I'm not sure if evolution has moved us away from being animals, but then there are still animals. So
But yeah, you just said though you
are
remember
those
being a
earlier
wolf.
evolved? Yeah, but say my soul has progressed.
Okay.
Evolution. So maybe the animals of today are the humans of tomorrow.
But I have to pick you up on because you said progressed. What's wrong with being a wolf? To be a human, is that a progression?
Because
or is it what you
would
want out of life?
experience more, wouldn't you? You would understand as a human intelligence. You would know right from wrong, whereas a wolf has to kill to survive. We don't anymore. We don't have to kill to survive.
Lazy, aren't we now?
Yeah, just buy stuff out of a packet, isn't it?
No, it's just it's bringing up the animal subject. It's just that. Yeah, because people would say, who'd want to come back as an ant? You know?
But then an ant it's still alive, isn't it?
It's a worker.
Yeah.
You know.
But I see insects as they're more like drones, aren't they? I don't think it's a different intelligence. It's not an intelligence. It's in their DNA that the things that they do. It's like programmed to do it, and it's more like an artificial intelligence. It's weird.
And that
and you know, mammals do love, don't they? We
dolphins,
you know?
the dolphin situation.
Yeah.
You know about their way of communicating.
They're mammals, aren't they? Yeah. But insects, I think that's another level.
We need to look that up because I think we're just making an assumption here.
Yeah.
That is who they are. You know,
But then, I remember being a tree. I've past life regressed. Being a tree for 100 years.
What?
Hundreds of years
I'm going to
ago.
ask, do you know what area of the world or what tree you were? There
like
may
an
be
old oak tree, just swaying in the wind and really old and big.
Oak is native of England, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is going to sound like a joke. So your roots are buried within the would you say the countryside, and you say about a wolf.
Nature.
Some things are sort of you're getting sort of connected to earthly, you know.
Yeah, and that's funny. My actual sign, Capricorn, is an earth sign.
Wow, and I didn't know that. Do you think I'm learning something by connecting the dots? No, but you know what I mean. I just think I don't remember hardly anything about, because I haven't done it for a time that I can say, well, I was alive then and I'll come back now as this. There are people who will say, you're talking a load of baloney.
Maybe it is. It's all in your mind, isn't it?
I was just going to say, what would you say to them?
Your mind manifests.
Sorry?
Your mind manifests. Your thoughts manifest. So who's to say they're not real?
Yeah. I'm just being the devil's advocate, and you know I am. You know, I think anybody listening, I truly, truly want you to be part of the conversation. Like I keep saying all the time, shout at us. But then write it down. Because we'd like to hear about your experiences.
Yeah.
And
just one more thing, because we was talking about the Bardo state, and we didn't mention a lot about the judges, but apparently, depending on what your past life was, religion-wise, can affect who you see as a judge. To be at the end of the day, they're not actually there because that people don't exist in the Bardo state. But it's how you.
I asked you this the other day,
yeah.
didn't I? I said, so if you're Jewish, you may see rabbis.
Yeah.
If you are, you know, you might see Ganesh as well. You might see Ganesh, or you might see
just usually like people
the Pope.
in white robes. Yeah.
You know, and I think because I said, didn't I say it's a familiar image?
Yeah, and you're still seeing it because it happens straight after death, after the tunnel. Or you're still hanging on to that life. Eventually, I mean, it could be like 30 odd years in the Bardo state. There could be 6 months. Depends how quick you want to move into the next life. And it depends on the type of death that you've had. But usually you carry it along and then it starts to fade.
Do they call them judges or?
No one calls them judges. It's just, you know.
Right, so there could be consultants or.
Yeah, and I said another word instead of judges earlier. I can't remember.
Caretakers of your soul.
Maybe, yeah. They're there to help you at the end of the day, not to judge you.
Yeah, so judges, I think, is a bit of a.
It's a harsh word. It's not near. No, it's not the right word.
Wise elders.
Yeah, that's how they're seen as. But again, remember, whatever you're looking at, and if they're sitting at a table, that table doesn't really exist. It's how your mind has set that.
Oh my God, this reminds me of something.
It's not real. It's not there. It's basically, it's yourself, isn't it? Everything you create. Doesn't matter what, you know, whether you're human or you're in that state, you're still creating. It's your creation. So you've created those judges. It reminds me of
a film, this does.
Yeah.
May have taken.
If you see them in a white robe, or if you see a Egyptian god.
Yeah, or you see somebody in a...
You've created it. You've created
your
own
t-shirt
judges.
And a pair of blue Levi's,
it's yourself. It is just yourself reflecting back on your past life.
It's also safe to create that environment. It's also a space for you to grow, would you say?
Yeah.
It's a space for you to feel or be healed, to learn. So I get why you're making it a place which is familiar to you.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I don't feel you can grow unless you create a world of your own. And is that why they say he's in a world of his own?
Yeah. We are the gods we create.
It's going to be silent, isn't it?
And I'm going to leave it at that, I think.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody, from me, Marie.
Yep, and me, Tina.
And we'll see you on the next podcast of Cosmic Conversation. See you next week. Thank you, guys. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever you need to do to keep hearing our podcasts.
Yep, and if we don't hear from you in this life, we'll hear from you in the next.
Bye, guys. Bye.